So, I've been thinking about what tank to review next for some time, and after much needed consideration, I decided to review something I can talk about without refreshing my memory a single bit, which means this review is already out there. Su-130PM is a Tier 8 Soviet tank destroyer, and a destroyer it is, mounted with 130mm gun dealing 520 damage per shot. Now, obviously this tank is getting compared to Scorpion, maybe even Scorpion G, even by Wargaming itself, so let's get that out of the way. Scorpion is better competitively. It's faster, it has a fully rotating turret as opposed to Su's turret, which can only do 77 degrees to each side, and a more reliable accuracy. I started off a bit harsh, but I do think Su has some upper hands. It has faster tank traverse, which is how fast it turns left and right. It has actual camo, it has 30 more damage per shot, which is not meaningless, although not a lot. And I personally think it has better gold shells. It also has ABZs. It's called Su Moment, that's a legit term, don't look that up. It becomes noticeable when you miss a shot you could have sworn you'd hit. By the way, don't take that as a joke, it's an actual thing that happens. Anyone who's played Su for a while will confirm that no matter how well you aim, or how long you'll aim for, it will sometimes just flat out refuse to hit the target, no matter what distance, if so are the wishes of RNG gods. So it's just inferior, don't buy it, right? Wrong. If I wasn't a microscopic channel, I could be accused of being sponsored by Wargaming for saying that, but since I am, there is something weirdly enjoyable about hitting shots with 130PM. I honestly don't know why, I honestly don't know what, it's just, I can see the shell traveling, and when it lands for something like 540 damage, I just enjoy it more than I would in other tanks, namely Scorpion. And there's also camo, which cannot be overlooked. It is one of the actual strengths of Su, especially that we're comparing it to Scorpion, which will get spotted in every situation it's even remotely possible to get spotted in. It's actually useful. You can be bolder with your positions because your camo can back it up. Having camo skills on crew also helps a lot. Remember to back away from bushes before shooting and you'll be good. Mobility. Ah, yes. Because of the high terrain resistances, this tank does not feel like something you'd consider agile, which is unfortunate, and one of the main reasons I consider Scorpion competitively better. 130PM isn't a very good medium tank, whereas Scorpion can actually serve as one well enough to make it a viable strategy. Accuracy is literally hit or miss, which is probably one of the biggest bummers and fun factors about this tank. Because I find it so enjoyable to actually land shots, I can't bring myself to hate the bloody thing for when it misses. Penetrations on both standard and premium shells are good, obviously. Now, I already suggested that this tank is generally better at staying on the second or third line, and the premium shell actually backs this up further. Because it's a hit shell, it does not lose penetration over distance, whereas Scorpion's gold shell is an APCR which not only starts with a lower pen value, but also loses it further over distance. Obviously there is no armor, said it just in case. Before we jump to my final conclusion, I wanted to touch on equipment, and with Equipment 2.0 it's honestly a tough call. I personally use gun rammer, binocs and GLD. I find it useful to aim quicker because firstly, I don't just camp, and secondly, because of the soft stats, the aim circle is all over the place whenever you move. And even when camping, you'll have to move. 155 degrees of quote-unquote turret rotation, remember? But the equipment you choose depends on how you want to play. So Rammer Binox camo, or Rammer Optics camo, or Rammer Optics turbocharger, or whatever else you come up with seems to be totally viable to me if it supports your playstyle. Final conclusion. Competitively speaking, Scorpion is just better. I don't think that's a controversial take. Better mobility and actual turret alongside more reliable accuracy are just too much to compete with. And yes, I still find Su-130PM a very fun tank to play. I am actually more excited to play it than I would be to play Scorpion. Perhaps that's because of the RNG. When it disrespects you, you know it, but when it rewards you, these are one of the most enjoyable shots you can imagine. And maybe, just maybe, that combined with the slightly higher alpha damage is what makes this tank really enjoyable for me. Whatever is the cause, it's a genuinely enjoyable machine. Utilize camo and mobility you get, laugh at Su moments, cherish hits you land, and you'll be fine. I don't really like numerical conclusions, but I would say this tank is somewhere between 7 and 8 out of 10. It's honestly what I consider a very good, fun to play tank. Maybe not necessarily competitive tank, but it doesn't have to be. It's good enough and it earns you credit, so if you think you'll have fun with it, get it I guess.